Well, 250 laps, as you said, it's going to be 156 miles. Stages are going to be 70 and 140, and then the third stage is going to be a nice 110 laps. 4 sets of tires, 3 over the box, 1 on the truck when they start out. In terms of the history of the AMA Truck Series here, we've had 3 races here in the past. Klaus Williams, Austin Hunt, and Logan Edwards, those last 2 being in the field tonight, are your past winners. And, well, Logan Edwards, that's kind of the big story here tonight as we go into this race. He is on back-to-back wins here, Murph, and he's going to a track in which he has won here last year. But right now, in the practice early on, he's back in P12 at the moment. So it should be a bit of a toss-up, possibly a new winner here at North Wilkesboro. Austin Hunt is also quite a bit down further in the order in terms of the practice times, but it should be a very interesting race because, well, it's also pretty dang hot out there, Murph. It is indeed here, Murph. I did, in fact, have a little bit of headset trouble, but we are back in full force. But yeah, you said, you know, this track is one of the original NASCAR, it was on the original schedule back in 1949. It hosted its first races here. And it's just, whenever you think of like NASCAR, a lot of people often think of how North Wilkesboro is and how NASCAR used to be back in the 80s and 90s. And this is kind of the most iconic short track, even I'd say up there with like Bristol and that sort of stuff, Bristol and Martinsville, in terms of like how popular it was, especially nowadays with its sort of history that it's had. The recent uproar of like how the track was abandoned and how it's come back in recent times, and now it's got full points paying event, not just the all-star races. Really just kind of a spectacular story because, well, the track was nearly abandoned fully. Well, not fully abandoned. They had a couple late models and modified races here and there, but it didn't host any sort of NASCAR sanctioning event for nearly 25 years, up until they brought it back with Dale Jr. and they, as you said, they redid it and then came back with the All-Star race, and now, well, it's back, Murph. It's here to stay. Yes, we did, as qualifying is about to be around the corner, about another a minute 20 in practice. But we missed this last week in the truck race, actually, at Lime Rock. Ryan O'Donoghue actually broke the record for most pole positions in all time in AMA. So both all the series that combine AMA, he actually broke the record for most pole positions with 28. So we actually missed that with Mr. O'Donoghue. So congratulations to him. Hopefully he can extend that to 29. So far early on in the practice session, he is the fastest on the board. So possibly that would be the case. And another note, in terms of drivers breaking records, Kendall Paul is going to be making his 200th AMA start here tonight. Similar stats where it's the all the combined series. It's going to be his 200th race start here in the Truck Series at North Wilkesboro tonight. So hopefully he's also actually up there in the practice times, currently third on the board. So hopefully these two can, put these get some milestones underneath their names and get some good results out of it. They do indeed. However, I have been told that they can go quite a long ways on fuel. So if we do manage to get that third green flag, third stage to go green all the way, not always the case here in the Truck Series, but tires here, well, because of how high it is, they're very, very greasy, and well, They're going to be slightly dead after even about 20 laps. So basically, they have to go stage 1, stage 2 to change tires, and then third stage, it's very tempting just to get a new set on because how easily it is to cook them around here. He does indeed. I did see a lot of drivers kind of riding that wall, going into 1 to 2, and then take the bottom. Seems like Ryan O'Donoghue possibly tapped the wall here in lap number 2, so that lap will not count, or possibly just a really slow lap. His first lap time in 19.892. That's still good enough for a pole position there. Austin Hunt in second, about a 10th off, so...
A moment.
Strap in, feel the hum in your hands. This is 4D. Heat on my palms, grip locked, heart racing. Shoes hit the pedal, whole room shaking. Jersey on my back, hair pulled low and blazing. Every turn I take, got the ghosts I'm chasing. 4D in my veins, feel that fire when I play, when I move, when I break, when I bang through the lane. 4D on my skin, when I lose, when I win, I'm alive in the light of the game I'm in. 4D, 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 it's different.
All right, do want to thank everybody for your patience. Nothing was missed. 17 trucks have taken time here at North Wilkesboro, and so we are back. I do want to thank everybody for your patience. I did for your patience as we had some words from longtime P1 supporter 4D Racewear. There was a large Windows update today, and well, Caleb, it boogered up my sound, something fierce, and so apparently the broadcast couldn't hear me. I could barely hear you, but I think we've got everything squared away now. I can actually hear the trucks on the racetrack. How about that?
About that indeed here, Murph. A couple of our drivers just wrapping up qualifying on board with Matt Wagner. He's actually done both of his times. I believe he was one of the last drivers to join this session, so I believe he's just getting some extra practice laps out there. He's currently bottom of the timetable with a time that looks like maybe just a little bit of practice, getting up to speed with the truck at the moment. So we'll watch Matt Wagner just get some practice laps in as we got less than 10 seconds left in the Q session.
We do have less than 10 seconds in the Q session right now. Ryan O'Donoghue and Austin Hunt provisionally your front row. And as we get ready to roll onto the grid, we've got one more Sim Shop Pole Award for Ryan O'Donoghue. So the all-time lead goes up by one. Ryan O'Donoghue with the Sim Shop Pole Award, www.simshop.com. Just keep Sim Shop, just keep driving. And we're getting ready for 250 laps at North Wilkesboro. On the pole with a lap of 92.560 miles an hour, it is the aforementioned Ryan O'Donoghue. Austin Hunt, he'll start outside. Greg Evans, Chuck Sweeting going to be row 2. Sam Crow, Logan Edwards will fill out row 3. Logan Edwards is your points leader, Caleb. Your points leader, Logan Edwards, the number 9 Team I-5G truck, will start 6th. Paul Witt, Kendall Paul, Jason Phillips, and Dylan Grutzmacher, they're going to round out the top 10. In 11th, it's John Houchins, and then Say Hey Lewis Hayes will start 12th. Great looking new paint scheme on that number 43 Ram. Jeffrey Goodpaster, Matt Sisler will go from 13th and 14th. How about Andrew Gates, Michael Kirk filling out row 8, David Dunwoody, Matt Wagner in row 9, Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, and Ted Craven. They'll start row 10, and shotgun on the field without a qualifying time is going to be Jeremy Dunwoody in the number 99, Caleb, and that is your starting field. Getting ready to roll the pace car away. 250 laps at North Wilkesboro are upon us. Stages tonight, 70, 140, and 250. Fuel should not be a concern for these trucks. Tires may be a different matter. It is still very warm at the start. It's even warmer now than it was in qualifying, Caleb. 83 in the air, 131 degrees on the track surface, and that is absolutely going to play havoc with these trucks, especially with the rear grip, Caleb.
Yeah, it will indeed. I guarantee you, in order to compensate for that, a lot of these drivers will try to use the high line that we saw Ryan O'Donoghue use in turns 1 and 2. They'll try to use the high line just to carry as much speed as possible. That way they don't get any sort of... try to prevent as much wheel spin as possible through these corners. So we'll see how it goes early on in the running, how these guys manage that rear grip. But we know with how the tires wear, these Goodyear tires, it will just get harder and harder to manage for most of these drivers.
It will. Now, there are 2 pace laps here at North Wilkesboro because, again, short track. So the pace truck has the field under its command. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in the fun. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you too can get in on all of the iRacing fun here on P1. We've got a lot of it planned for you, including 250 laps tonight at North Wilkesboro. Pace truck is going to come in this time. We're going to jump up in the flag stand with Barney. There he is. He's got the green flag in hand, Caleb. We're just about ready to get going here at Wilkesboro.
Green flag, green flag.
There it is. Green flag is out. Ryan O'Donoghue reaches out, races into the lead. And already, Caleb, we're 3 wide. That's Greg Evans on the bottom looking at Ryan O'Donoghue. They've got Austin Hunt trapped up high now.
Yeah, they got Austin Hunt trapped up there. Greg Evans, a part-timer in the truck series, but we all know him for how dominant he is in the Grand National side of things. He's looking to the bottom side. Ryan O'Donoghue, as I said earlier, is going to try to make that high line work. We're still a little bit side by side. We got a little bit of contact. A truck into the wall off of turn 2. But they all keep going. And now, Osterman in the back there. And we got a truck spin there.
We've got
a little bit of controversy.
Yeah, we've got 2 sideways. That's Say Hey Lewis Hayes and Ted Craven back there. We're going to figure out exactly what has transpired here in the early going. The 43 is Say Hey Lewis Hayes up against the wall. And not a good angle there. Okay, so this is all going to start. There's a huge bunch up coming off of turn 2. They get 3 and 4 wide down there. There's Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Osterman takes a shot from the 28. I believe that's David Dunwoody, and kind of pushes him in. Great job from Say Hey Lewis Hayes. I don't think he really even hit the wall there, Caleb. He just kind of slid sideways against it. Jeffrey Goodpaster has headed for the pit lane. Ted Craven pulls his truck to a stop, but Say Hey Lewis Hayes may have gotten away with one there, Caleb.
I believe a little bit, because it looks like his right rear was already damaged before that from the turn 2 incident. and he got away with the damage off of the turn 4, but he still does have a little bit of right rear damage on that number 43 machine, but it looks like it is just body work for him, so possibly he is able with that repaired possibly at the stage break. It doesn't look like it's going to handle any or be any detriment to him, at least in terms of mechanical grip.
Yeah, I don't think that he'll have any problem. Wilkesboro is not. It is a short track after all. It is not aero dependent. We've seen competitive drivers running around here, Caleb, with well, not much body work at all, right, brother?
Oh, 100%. I mean, any sort of short track there's very few out there. Maybe Bristol, maybe if you want to consider Rockingham, even though it's technically not. Those are kind of aero dependent, but even then, like a track like North Wilkesboro, these flatter short ovals really aren't aero dependent. They're all mechanical, so any sort of body damage these guys get isn't going to be too detrimental at all.
No, it wouldn't be. Ryan O'Donoghue is going to lead him back to the start-finish line. We're going to get this party started one more time. Green flag comes out. Start lap 8 of 250 here at North Wilkesboro. One more time, Ryan O'Donoghue jumps in the lead. He's on the bottom of teammate Greg Evans, and that's difficult. The absolute bottom is not really where you want to be here, Caleb.
No, it isn't, but we see Ryan O'Donoghue kind of make work of it. I believe that was a little bit of contact between the two teammates, and we got a car or a truck sideways there in the background. That's Kendall Paul. He's dropping all the way.
We got one in the wall. We got a big mess. We got a big mess. That is the 17 of Matt Wagner. The number 8 of Sam Crow is where that started. Matt Wagner comes to rest against the outside retaining wall. And Logan Edwards with a shot to the back of Sam Crow going into turn 1. Crow hard into the wall with the tailgate of that truck. And then you're just going to see the number 20 of Jason Phillips and the 17 of Matt Wagner pile right on in, nowhere to go, Caleb. And then to add further insult to injury, Sahi Lewis Hayes slides in the back of Sam Crow. That's teammate on teammate violence. And so Sam, not a good start to this one. Sam Crow already in the pit lane.
Yeah, Sam Crow has not had the greatest string of races here. It seems like he's just had the worst luck in the past couple of rounds, both here in the Truck Series and the Grand National side as well. But it looks like hopefully, well, he got hit pretty hard there. He's going to have to come down pit lane as well. It's been pretty familiar for him in the recent running.
Yeah, it has. Sam Crow already a lap down. That truck under repair. As we hit the caution flag one more time. Cautions in the AMA are brought to you by Admin Box, which is race control at the touch of a button. If you're a race controller, league admin, you run hosted sessions, you need one of those. It's www.adminbox.com. It's Admin Box with 2 X's. Talk to Fish over there. He'll get you fixed up. It is a wonderful piece of work. We'll see him at the Sim Gaming Expo in September as well. Buy your tickets September 18 through 20. That's at the Schaumburg Renaissance Convention Center, is it? Am I saying that right, Caleb? You made the reservation. I can't remember where I'm going. I'm just gonna follow you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, you got to drive through. You got to drive through South Bend coming from Ohio anyway, so I'll just follow you over there.
Oh boy, he's going to follow the caddy. It won't be the first time he's ever followed me before behind. It won't be the first time he's followed me. I'll tell you that much.
Maybe you should follow me. It wouldn't be the first time you followed me either. Ryan O'Donoghue getting ready to restart this thing. O'Donoghue has the inside again. That is not the preferred line here at Wilkesboro. You really want to run either the top or the middle in these corners. And O'Donoghue, you see him, he's already kind of maneuvering Greg Evans up the hill here. As we see that Sahi Lewis Hayes coming off a pit lane, he is already a lap down and looking as though he may go 2 down here in the early going. Sam Crow still sits on pit lane, now 5 laps in arrears, and Greg Evans has made it to the lead over teammate Ryan O'Donoghue. Austin Hund lays third.
Yeah, Greg Evans shoots out to the lead here, and it's kind of an opposite of what we see Greg do all the time. Usually you see him drop back quite a bit, try to save his tires, especially at a track that's going to be as hot as this throughout the majority of the day. I'm surprised he shot out to the lead this early on against his teammate Ryan O'Donoghue. Caution flag is out on the speedway.
It is. Michael Kirk is involved. Jeffrey Goodpaster as well. Goodpaster has already towed, and there is smoke rising from the Napa Auto Parts Toyota. We'll have a look at what's befallen Goodpaster. So Michael Kirk gets loose coming off the corner, coming off turn number 4. Justin Osterman kind of clips him, and then Osterman gets into Michael Kirk. Huge impact on the front of that number 34 machine of Goodpaster. And Goodpaster is out of this event, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. Our first official retirement. Sam Crow is still in the pit lane. It looks like his truck is still able to keep going, so maybe he is able to get back out on track. But Jeffrey Goodpaster, our first official retirement of the evening, and well, I guarantee you, Murph, with how North Wilkesboro races, certainly won't be the last.
It won't. Now, what a break for Sahe Lewis Hayes, because he was involved in that first incident. Lewis Hayes is going to get the lucky dog here. He is going to be able to pass the field. He'll get back on the lead lap, back at the end of the line, and with only 21 trucks and now 20 involved in the race, Sam Crow would have to, or with only 19 trucks out on the racetrack, that's not, and there goes Sahe Lewis Hayes, that is not a huge situationship to have to deal with, Caleb. If there were 43 out here, it would be more difficult, but because of the shorter field, shorter track, shorter field, a lot of people on summer vacation, and what have you, that's not the disadvantage that it might have been, Caleb.
No, it wouldn't. We're actually back up to 20 trucks. Matter of fact, Sam Crow is back in the race. Fortunately, he is 8 laps down. But we know how North Wilkesboro has been in the past here in the AMA, so it wouldn't be too surprising if he gets all the lucky dogs. If he's able to get all the lucky dogs and just continue forward, and possibly, when this is all said and done, be on the lead lap by the time this thing is all over.
Yeah, Sam Crow is. There goes Matt Wagner. Sam Crow, after some repairs. Sam Crow is not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. North Wilkesboro does tend to breed a lot of cautions. This time, Ryan O'Donoghue is going to have the preferred line on the top over Greg Evans as we race back toward turn number 1. O'Donoghue gives Evans quite a bit of room. Greg Evans will lead away here. O'Donoghue now battling Austin Hund for that second spot, but Hund hangs his truck right on the bottom. O'Donoghue, he's staying pretty loyal to lane 2, Caleb.
Yes, he is indeed. It gets a little bit of single file all the way back down to 4th place, but it's Chuck Sweeting, Logan Edwards, and that is Paul Witt on his inside are going to go side by side. Then it's 2x2 all the way back. Logan Edwards does clear Paul Witt on the bottom. He's got Dylan Grutzmacher. He made his debut in the AMA Truck Series last week at Lime Rock, got himself a solid top 10 finish. But right now, fairly strung out. O'Donoghue is really riding that high line. But right now, Logan Edwards got Paul Witt back on his inside. We'll see how that bottom line's able to work. So far, Paul Witt's been able to make it work. Everybody else seems to be liking that top side.
Logan Edwards just drifted that number 9 truck all the way through turns 3 and 4. That's going to allow Paul Witt to pull up right next to him. We'll jump on board with Logan Edwards as they head through turns 3 and 4 one more time. Edwards in the middle line. That truck on the left is Paul Witt, and you can see just how much he's having to fight that F-150, Caleb, as he clears Witt. So Logan Edwards back down to the bottom where I think he wants to be, but that is not a happy handling truck, and Dylan Grutzmacher is going to take a look at the outside.
Yes, he does, and he's actually able to clear Paul Witt on the bottom there. Now he looks to the outside of Logan Edwards, not able to get the momentum, but he might be able to perform a cutback going into turn number 3. Thinks better of it, though. He's all over the back of the Team I5G driver, and he's going to look up the inside off the exit of the corner. But unfortunately, Logan's able to carry the momentum forward and able to stay ahead here on lap 27. Although he gets a little bit of wiggle, does Grutzmacher have a run here?
He's going to have one down the back straight, but he doesn't have anywhere to go with it. They slam back into turns 3 and 4. These laps here under green are going to tick off very, very fast, Caleb. Just about 20 to 21 seconds a lap around North Wilkesboro. 3 laps a minute. It does not take long if we get some green flag running for this thing to get to its conclusion. Already working lap 30 of the initial 70 for stage 1. You're watching Logan Edwards and Dylan Grutzmacher fight for the 6th spot. Meanwhile, we've had a change for the lead. Ryan O'Donoghue has gotten back past Greg Evans and move O'Donoghue to the top spot as we get close to halfway in this first stage, Caleb.
Yeah, there's a little bit of argy-bargy as they went through turns 1 and 2. O'Donoghue kind of threw a little bit of a side swipe to Greg Evans, and you see how different the lines are. I've been watching this battle a little bit. Ryan O'Donoghue is really doing a really big arc into the corners of 1 and 2 and cutting it down hard on the exit. Meanwhile, Greg Evans is kind of taking the normal shallower line going into the corners. Watch how O'Donoghue takes this high line, and he's going to cut it down really hard on exit right there. But right now, Greg Evans was able to get alongside him through the middle of the corner. It seems like that's what Ryan O'Donoghue really, really likes, is riding that high line through 1 and 2, and then just kind of everybody just seems like they want to run the bottom going through 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think he's doing that, Caleb, for a couple of reasons. We've noted the truck is very, very free here. As you see Ryan O'Donoghue and Greg Evans battle for the lead, they've run away and hid. They're over a second and a half ahead of Austin Hund here, but it's interesting to see the two lines. O'Donoghue a lot more momentum up off the top line, and I think he's doing that for 2 reasons. One, he's able to make time up there, but he's also, Caleb, able to hold the wheel a lot more straight coming off the corner.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. And he's just able to carry a lot more speed, as you said. But Greg Evans is able to get a really good run through the middle of the corners in 1 and 2, but O'Donoghue's just able to clear him on the exit every single time. However, he might have a run going down this straightaway here. He was on the inside on the exit. However, O'Donoghue's just going to keep riding that 3rd lane almost against the wall there, going through 1 and 2 and just carry the momentum to just clear Evans every single time on corner exit. Meanwhile, it seems like there is an intense battle a little bit further back, all the way back to Matt Sizzler, Andrew Gates, and David Dunway. Those guys are really going at it just inside the top 10.
Yeah, they're after it. That's John Houchins in the 72, David Dunwoody in the 28. He's alongside Matt Sizzler in the 3 birdies, number 93. Behind them, you've got Andrew Gates and Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. This fight is from 9th back to about 13th, and they have been, Caleb, 3 wide in stretches over there.
Yes, they have indeed. A little bit of a blink you saw there from Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, currently at the rear of this little group at the moment. But right now, it is Andrew Gates on the outside of David Dunwoody. He's trying to make that high line work, as you saw Ryan O'Donoghue try to 1 and 2 this time in 3 and 4 with Andrew Gates there. David Dunwoody still trying to make the inside work, but it looks like Andrew Gates finally able to get the position off the middle of the corner.
Yes, he is. Justin Osterman now gets past teammate David Dunwoody. That's Sam Crow there. Sam is 8 laps in arrears, but back on the speedway, and he would stand to be the lucky dog. It's worth reporting Greg Evans has now moved past Ryan O'Donoghue, so Evans leads it from O'Donoghue. Chuck Sweeting, Dylan Grutzmacher, Austin Hunt. This crew back here is having a tussle from third back to about 8th. You're looking at the battle for third. That's Austin Hunt as he looks to the inside of Chuck Sweeting. You've got Grutzmacher kind of firmly in 5th, and then Logan Edwards, Kendall Paul, and Paul Witt. They've been swapping 7th, 8th, and 9th for about the last 10 laps as well. As you see Logan Edwards slide up high, that's going to let Kendall Paul drop underneath and see if he can't challenge for that 6th spot.
Yeah, Kendall had a look on the exit there. This time he's going to run about the 2nd lane. Logan in the 3rd. But Logan's just able to clear him off the side of the corner. It seems like Logan's tires are possibly fading just a little bit. He's dropping back and further back in the field. Grutzmacher was able to get around him, and now he has to fend off from Kendall Paul and Paul Witt. He also started a little bit further ahead than where he is at the moment. He started in 7th, currently in 8th. But it seems like it's going to be just whoever carries some more momentum off the middle of the corner. If you're able to get alongside on a straightaway, you got the inside line, I think you're basically able to make the corner work as long as the guy on the outside.
Caution is on the speedway. Justin Osterman. Yeah, Justin Osterman's come to grief. Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! Okay then. We seem to be having a bit of a disagreement here over real estate. Justin Osterman and Andrew Gates come to blows, and they may still be after each other, but we're going to watch the replay. Here's Gates and Osterman. Osterman on the high side in the 53, Gates on the bottom in the 18. It looks like he just kind of got hooked up. That's typical of short track racing. Both cars, I'm not going to say heavy contact, Caleb, but watch Gates here. He's going to back his truck into traffic right here. And there's contact with the 20 of Jason Phillips. And then we're going to give Osterman another love tap there as they pull away. But caution back out on the speedway one more time as we near the end of the 2nd stage here in the Backwoods Motorsports 250 from North Wilkesboro. Do want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings for their support of the AMA. They are a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years in the St. Louis area. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting their customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time, whether it's industrial, commercial, restaurant, retail flooring, or concrete repaired home. You found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. That's archwaycoatings.com. You can reach out to Sean Mott, who is a regular competitor in the AMA. As we continue under caution, 46 of 250 down. Caleb, we've only got another 25 laps left in the stage. If we can get going here, that could be over in as little as 5 or 6 minutes.
30 laps. 30 laps. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing about a 20-second lap, possibly with the tires worn, about a 21-second lap, yeah, these laps go by quick. So, I mean, you're doing three laps a minute, so it should be about 10 minutes to the end of stage number 1 here if it goes green.
Green, green, green.
We're back to green flag action. Barney throws the green flag at him. Away we go. Greg Evans launches out in the lead. He's got O'Donohue up high. Hunt now is going to follow in the tire tracks of Ryan O'Donohue, and that's going to let Chuck Sweeting dive to the inside.
Yeah, it's going to allow Chuck Sweeting to get to the inside of Austin Hunt. Hunt, who has been, throughout the beginning portion of this race, has kind of rocked that bottom line. Now it's kind of getting stuck to the top. You see him try to go to the bottom. Ryan O'Donohue has a fender alongside a little bit further back, Logan Edwards, and I believe that is Kendall Paul going side by side, making a little bit of contact there. Kendall now having to go side by side with Paul Witt, but a little bit of close contact there on the restart, but they all get squared away. Top 5 single file, now top 6. Paul Witt and Kendall Paul are still side by side, as well as Matt Sizzler and John Houchins. A fairly single file, only a couple of laps into his restart. Possibly we have lost Murph there a little bit. Still is Chuck Sweeting and Dylan Grutzmacher going a little bit side by side, as well as Paul Witt and Matt Sizzler and Kendall Paul. Those guys are still going at it just outside of the top 5. Logan Edwards now, it loses a little bit of time to Kendall. That's directly behind him. Logan get a little bit loose on entry under braking. Kendall, unfortunately, he had the run, but it goes a little bit wide, a little bit too deep in the corner. And now he makes contact with Paul Witt going down the front stretch.
Yes, he does. Let's ride on board with Kendall Paul real quick, just to kind of show the people at home what Kendall's kind of fighting. You mentioned Logan Edwards getting loose under braking. What do you do to solve that? We're used to Indy cars with weight jackers and anti-roll bars. None of that here, Caleb. What can these drivers do to avoid what's happening to Kendall Paul, which is just absolutely lose the rear under braking?
Well, the obvious thing is just to move the brake bias forward, but at that point you use the brakes here in the trucks to actually rotate the truck and get it to turn in better. So you do want that looseness to get that truck and turn in, so you run a much more rearward brake bias than you might normally would. But if you're dealing to where you're just snapping on entry, kind of how Logan did a few laps ago, you possibly want to move the brake bias maybe for just about a click or two. It doesn't have to be a drastic change, but right there, as we see, Logan Edwards sent it a little bit too deep, trying to get around Dylan there in the number 69 truck. Hits the outside wall. I don't believe he got any damage from that. Maybe just a little love tap in the middle of the corner. But yeah, in terms of brake bias, you want it to have more rearward brake bias to get the truck rotated, but you don't want it to have it snap on you, kind of like how Logan had going into turn 3.
I'll tell you who's snapping right now is Kendall Paul. That truck looks evil in his hands. We'll go a little bit further back. David Dunwoody rides around behind John Houchins, Matt Sizzler, and Paul Witt. Sizzler and Witt are racing for the 8th spot. They now have Sizzler and Dunwoody along. You see Sam Crow riding on the bottom. Unfortunately for Sam, Jason Phillips went a lap down under that last yellow, and so Jason Phillips now would be the lucky dog, and that's going to slow Sam Crow's roll. Andrew Gates has also retired from the event, and so 19 cars remain on the track. Sam Crow 8 laps down. Jason Phillips is 1 lap down as we continue toward the end of the first stage. Greg Evans has pulled a huge lead on his competitors. There's the look back to Ryan O'Donoghue. There's a lot of real estate between Greg Evans and his nearest pursuers there, Caleb.
Yes, it is, right? Of course, Greg Evans, only a part-timer in the truck series. We really don't see him race this series that often, but he'll throw his hat in the ring, and well, as he does in the Grand National Series, where he's got 8 wins in that series already, well, he's putting to work again here tonight in the truck series as well. Even as a part-timer, he's already got 1 win this season back at Charlotte. So he's thrown his hat in the ring quite a few number of times here in the truck series, and he's already got 1 win this season on a part-time basis. And right now, well, the gap's kind of maintained back to Ryan O'Donoghue. It's been about 2 seconds for about the last 5 laps or so, but just as we always see within the Grand National side, we always see Greg Evans kind of be patient early on and then just kind of build a gap once the end of the stages come out.
We do. There was a great fight between Paul Witt and Kendall Paul. That has cooled off. Sam Crow has passed nearly half the field here. He's one of the fastest trucks on the speedway, albeit 8 laps down. Meanwhile, now Kendall Paul, he's got a duel with Matt Sizzler a little bit further behind him. David Dunwoody has dropped to the inside of John Houchins.
And David Dunwoody sends it in deep. Mr. Excitement also throwing his hat into the ring here of this battle. Houchins gets a little bit loose off the corner. Mr. Excitement looks up the inside going into the front straightaway. but he's got David Dunway in the way. Dunway still holding about that middle line, but he's not able to clear Houchins on the inside. They're still going side by side as they go through 3 and 4, but David Dunway having the inside line. He's clear now, and he does clear himself on John Houchins. Houchins drops back a spot. Osterman getting a little bit loose behind Houchins. He looks like he's ready to pounce on that number 72 machine as well.
He is. Dunwoody is going to clear John Houchins, and Houchins' teammate to Kendall Paul appears to be suffering from the same thing that Kendall Paul was dealing with, which is a very ill-handling machine on corner entry. Justin Osterman continues to blink a little bit, but he continues on in 12th, disappearing, reappearing at the whims of the network. A little bit further forward, Logan Edwards and Dylan Grutzmacher, they're going to have at it over 5th, Caleb.
Yes, they are. Only with a handful of laps left in the stage. This is for a top 5 position, but Logan gets really, really loose on entry, trying to get around that number 69 machine of Dylan Grutzmacher. And he's got Paul Witt all over his rear bumper as well. Logan's kind of in a sticky situation to try to get himself inside the top 5 before the end of the stage. He sends it really, really deep with about 2 laps to go in the stage. A little bit too deep, but he's still got an edge over that 69 machine on the outside. Right behind them, Paul Witt is trying to look for a spot as well, and they also got the lap car Sam Crow in the mix. But Logan Edwards has finally cleared Dylan Grutzmacher off the edge of turn number 4, and now Paul Witt looks up the inside going to turn number 1.
He does. Paul Witt trying to claim that 6th spot from Dylan Grutzmacher at the end of the stage. Witt in the admin box truck on the bottom. T55G leads them, at least for the position. The 69 of Dylan Grutzmacher up top. They're going to come across the line. Now remember, they got to go until Matt Sizzler in 10th crosses the line, and he is racing hard with David Dunwoody. Dunwoody cannot make the pass. Caution is on the speedway, and the winner of Track Racer Stage number 1 is none other than Greg Evans. If you go to trackracer.com and you put in the web address, just as I'm going to put it in the chat here, 5% of your order will go to the end of season AMA prize pool. That's trackracer.com. Put in the promo code just as it is at the end there, and just a little bit will come back to these drivers. Already pit stops, Caleb. Greg Evans on the pit lane.
Greg Evans brings him down around this. And you said that in the past here at North Wilkesboro, it used to be a dual pit lane, kind of like how Bristol is today. But right now it's kind of got the classic, just you pit off turn number 3 and all the pit boxes wrap around all the way to the edge of turn number 1. So Greg Evans brings him down. Ryan O'Donohue also in his pit box. And right now Logan Edwards gets a huge jump on the rest of the field here.
Yes, he did. You see Logan Edwards. He'll pull out in what I believe is the 2nd spot off the pit lane. We did have 2 drivers, Caleb, that stayed out. Sahe Lewis Hayes, who had pitted under an earlier caution fixing damage. My guess is he feels like he hasn't really abused his stuff, and so he's going to stay out. The second truck that stayed out, none other than David Dunwoody. Sahe Lewis Hayes now with a black flag, too fast entering pit lane.
Yeah, Sahe Lewis Hayes decided just to stay out, just to get a lead lap point there. But well, unfortunately, it bit him in the butt there. Murphy's got to serve a black flag in EOL. He was actually going to already serve the EOL just by pitting in anyways. However, now he's got to go even a little bit further back in the field. I do want to mention John Houchins is very, very slow on the front straightaway here. I don't know what exactly that is all about. But he is way back in the field for going through turns 1 and 2 now.
There you go. Sahe Lewis Hayes back off of the pit lane. Ted Craven also with a black flag, but David Dunwoody is going to
All right,
assume
man.
the lead
Lights
here.
are back on the pace car. We're not
Lights
going
back
green
on the
this time.
pace
We
car,
are
but
not going
Dunwoody
green.
did not stop, Caleb.
No, he did not. And I also want to note that Logan Edwards also only took right side tires only, so that's why he was able to get a massive jump over the rest of the field here. We'll see how these differing strategies work. David Dunwoody, they are side by side, but the pace truck is still out there. So I thought they were going to go green this time by. They were lined up 2x2s, so it's going to be one more lap until green here.
All right, man. Lights are back on the pace
There's
car. We're
another
not
one. They've
going green
extended
this
the
time.
yellow
We are
one more
not
time.
going
There
green.
are some issues with the running order. Say Lewis Hayes, Ted Craven still showing black flags in the timing and scoring. It is worth pointing out the track continues to heat up, Caleb. Well, it's still very hot. I said it continued to heat up. It was as much as 141 degrees. Now it's down to a rather chilly and frigid 138. So the track is cooling off a little bit,
All right,
but that's
man.
still
Lights are
very,
back on the
very,
pace car.
very
We're not
hot.
going green this time. We
The
are not
weather
going
is
green.
set. The weather is set for today. In sim time, Caleb, it's 20 after 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's a bit warm out there. This track does have lights, so they could have ran possibly later in the night, had a little bit cooler. But boy, it is warm out there, Murph, and that's obviously has to go into the handling of how these trucks are going to be. That's the reason we see a lot of these trucks loose at the moment. A lot of rear ends stepping out in the middle of the corners, and that really plays a big part of it. I mean, just to compare in lap times alone, we are nearly 2 seconds slower than the AMA record set by Austin Hunt back in 2024. An 18.671 he set back here in that race. Well, currently the fastest lap is within the 20-second range, so we are quite a bit off, and I guarantee you the heat alone has something to do with it.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution back on the speedway again. The pace truck is on the pit lane, but they're continuing to extend the yellow. You mentioned the track record. The absolute track record here is held by Kyle Larson, 18.362 at the All-Star race when the pavement was absolutely at its freshest. Corey Heim has the truck record here with an 18.431. So we're over 2 seconds adrift under race pace. And I think what they're trying to do here, Caleb, is sort out the black flags for Hayes and Craven. Am I correct?
Well, there was actually under the timing and scoring, there was actually quite a few number of trucks that were actually a lap down, and it was lining them up in the incorrect position. A lap down, Matt Wagner, Lewis Hayes, John Houchins, Osterman, all being a part of it, and they were trying to get them all waved around again. So it seems as though they might have it sorted out here at the moment, but we'll see if they're able to get it sorted out with it in this lap or the next time by.
Maybe so. That car you see on the pit lane is Sam Crow. He's diving down for additional service on that number 8 Chevrolet. We do want to get this. We do want to get this sorted out, get going, because when this track is green, it is some pretty darn good racing, Caleb.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we got that little green stint right at the end there, about 30 laps, and we had a lot of good side-by-side action. And it really, the more difficult a track is, in my opinion, is where you really get the best type of racing, because, well, it's just more prone to have people make mistakes there, and a lot of people able to capitalize on top of that. So, the more difficult a track is, you get those really good side-by-side battles, a little bit of Rubbins racing, as they always say, especially at these short tracks, especially a flat short track like North Wilkesboro. And we got a really good green flag run there where we had, 5 to 6 truck battles in the mid pack and even a little bit further back from that as well.
Yes, they are. The pace truck now, well, now it's going to peel off here. So we are about ready to go back to green. The second stage caution will fly at lap 140. So 56
green.
laps on tap. David Dunwoody, and Dunwoody lights the tires up on the restart and immediately tagged by Chuck Sweeting. Dunwoody up in the wall. Now Matt Wagner is in the wall as well. You could have seen that coming, Caleb. David Dunwoody on the old tires nearly spun that truck coming to the restart.
Yeah, a little bit of a half spin right in front of Chuck Sweetie there. And you always do see that on the restarts with really old set of tires. We saw that actually a lot at Darlington, both the Grand National and the truck side, how brutal the restarts were for a lot of people that were out on an older set of tires. And, well, that really just goes to show it doesn't matter where it's at, especially at the short tracks or even the intermediate tracks. Restarts can be a little bit tricky just based on a worn set of rear tires, and just based off that, David Dunley has retired from the session here, so he's going to be our official second retirement of the race.
Yes, he is. Watching Logan Edwards and Chuck Sweeting do battle for second. Greg Evans has already checked out a second and a half over this run for second. Everybody had to get on the binders with David Dunwoody, and that has let Greg Evans kind of scamper away. Chuck Sweeting now holds second. Logan Edwards big loose on the bottom. That'll let O'Donohue through, and so too goes Dylan Grutzmacher. Logan Edwards has fallen now back to the fourth. Well, and now he's going to see if he can't fight Grutzmacher, but Grutzmacher much quicker on the outside. Not so fast, though. Logan Edwards comes back on the bottom.
He does indeed, but right now he's got Paul Witt to his outside, and clearly the right side tires was not the good option here. It was a gamble on his part. He gained a lot of positions initially on the restart, and right now he finds himself even more further behind than at the end of stage number one. That's not Paul Witt, Austin Hunt able to go around the outside of Logan Edwards, and now he has Paul Witt to his inside. Matt Sizzler right on his rear bumper, and Logan Edwards is just dropping like he'll fly at the moment.
Yes, he is. He'll fall into the clutches of Paul Witt and Matt Sizzler. They've got Kendall Paul right behind them. Sizzler and Witt, they're looking at 7th and 8th. Sizzler on the outside, Witt on the bottom. But Matt Sizzler kind of has a pick in front of him in the form of Logan Edwards. And Edwards, that truck is not happy, Caleb. He was in a power slide. He was in a power slide coming off of turn 2. Meanwhile, Ryan O'Donohue has gotten through Chuck Sweeting, so is Dylan Grutzmacher, and now Austin Hunt pulls to the back of that number 75 machine. Austin Hunt looking to get himself in the top 5, or top 4 rather.
Yeah, Chuck Sweeting went really, really wide in 3 and 4 last time around. That's the reason Dylan and Ryan O'Donohue were able to get around him. And right now, Ryan O'Donohue is able to set his sights on his teammate out in front. Greg Evans is actually going to come up to 2 teammates as lap traffic as well. So right now, Ryan O'Donohue about 2.5 seconds back from Greg Evans. Dylan Grutzmacher is trying to gain as much time as possible. But Chuck Sweeting, we saw him come back late in the stage here, so we'll see if he's able to do that again. He's got about 45 laps to try to get back into that second place position, and we'll see if he's able to pull that gap back here. I do want to point out that Logan Edwards has also dropped from Matt Sizzler. He is now in the clutches of John Houchins. He is back into the 9th place position. So those right side tire option clearly has not been a good choice for him. We're watching Chuck Sweetie try to defend. It seems like he's just dropped off the pace ever since the start of stage number 2. He's now fallen into the clutches of Austin Hunt and Paul Witt, also being directly behind them. So we'll see how Truck Sweetie is able to manage the pace here, manage his rear tires. And the longer we get into these green flag runs, it has been about so far 20 laps into this stint here, 20 green flag laps, I should say. And right now, these guys are just going to have to manage their tires even more and more. The rear is going to get even greasier and greasier, looser and looser. So right now, they just got to manage their rear tires as much as they can, because they know the drivers around them will make mistakes the longer this stint goes on. And right now, Chuck Sweetie, he's dropped quite a bit of time to Ryan O'Donoghue already. So if he wants to try to get back up, he's just got to be patient and make sure he's got to capitalize on both ends of the racetrack and not get any wheel spin underneath his rear tires.
Very true. You see Austin Hunt continuing to look at Chuck Sweeting. That is the battle for fourth. A little bit further back, Justin Osterman has now found Logan Edwards, and Logan battling that ill-handling F-150. He sees the Silverado, but Justin Osterman fall to his inside, and Osterman gives it a wiggle coming off of the corner. He almost cleared him. Not quite. Logan Edwards will fight back on the high side, and Logan, he needs...
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution
is out.
Jeremy Dunwoody has spun to the inside of the front straight, so Jeremy Dunwoody will bring out the caution. He's having some difficulty getting that machine righted. I think this is just going to be the old snap loose off of turn 4, Caleb.
And that's exactly what the case is. He's riding that bottom line, and we have seen a lot of drivers run that bottom in 3 and 4, and it's still something you got to manage, and he just gets loose, and the nose goes front end to the inside wall there. Doesn't seem to actually have damaged that truck too much. He's got a little bit of left front damage, but really that truck doesn't look too bad for how hard he hit it.
No, it doesn't. Well, you got to remember, I mean, top speed here at Wilkesboro is barely 100 miles an hour. So, if you get on the brakes, you're not going to hit all that hard usually. But there's Jeremy Dunwoody. He did damage the front of that truck. Justin Osterman's going to pull his machine down pit lane for further repair. And really, this is going to let Ryan O'Donoghue line up behind Greg Evans, say, hey, Lewis Hayes is going to get a lap back. He'll go to 3 laps down as Jeremy Dunwoody goes back, goes to the pit lane, and he is under repair. We're down to 13 trucks on the lead lap, Caleb. And Chuck Sweeting, he is on the pit lane as well. Sweeting is making a pit stop, and so that's news. Chuck Sweeting pits from the top 5 here.
Looks like he got some damage repaired. He didn't take any tires that time around, so wonder what that's all about. I didn't see any damage on that number 75 machine. Well, looking through the replay, he actually had quite a bit of left front damage that we possibly missed there. So, and he's still got that left front damage. So it looks like he came down the pit lane to try to get some of it repaired, but didn't get all of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? If you're at a short track such as North Wilkesboro, even the caution laps here are pretty quick, 40 seconds as opposed to 20 under green flag. But that's not a lot of time. If you
Green flag,
it's such
green
that
flag.
If you're pitting from the rear of the field, a 4-tire stop may put you a lap down, Caleb.
It will indeed, and it just goes to any short track. The pit stops are going to be really, really quick, and that's just something you're going to have to manage. But right now, one thing that these guys got to manage, well, they got a lap truck of, say, Lewis Hayes out there. He's getting out of the way of Greg Evans, Brian O'Donoghue, and Austin Hunt. He's just trying to hold that bottom line and get out of the way. But Brian O'Donoghue, Austin Hunt trying to make that high side work. A little bit 2x2 action between John Houchins. He's made his way just outside of the top 5. Kendall Paul as well. Dylan Grutzmacher all battling just inside of the top 5. Paul Witt and Matt Scissor are just behind them as well. A little bit of dueling action. Matt Wagner has also gone around Logan Edwards a little bit further back. And right now, it seems to be fairly fanned out. just a couple laps into the stage, they're trying on the outside there. That is John Houchins, excuse me, and Dylan Grusmacher getting around the outside. Paul Witt. Now he's got Matt Sizzler looking to his outside as well.
Yes, he has. They're nearly 3 wide. Kendall Paul will squirt free of that. Dylan Grusmacher comes through, and now you've got John Houchins to the outside, Paul Witt on the bottom, and they've got Matt Sizzler working behind them. Let's hop aboard Matt Sizzler and give you, the fan, the best seat in the house. There we go. Right on his roll bar, Caleb.
Right on his roll bar, and you can actually see, it seems like Sizzler's got his truck dialed in. You can see how smooth he is with his steering input. He's really using the brake to rotate that truck around, and we saw earlier on with O'Donoghue's qualifying how loose that truck was. Well, there you saw Sizzler get a little bit loose on entry, but right now he's got that thing dialed in. He's fairly smooth with that steering input.
He is, Caleb, and that's kind of what you want. That's what you're looking for if you're a driver here. The more you see guys sawing on the wheel and making those herky-jerky movements and such, that's not fast. Speed is often boring looking, right? And Matt Sizzler's hands, well, they look pretty boring, and I have a feeling if we get a long run, Matt Sizzler is going to be in pretty good shape. You can just kind of see him riding around here. He's in the 8th spot, so Matt Sizzler having himself a pretty decent run. A little bit further in front, though, Paul Witt and Dylan Grusmacher still going at it, Caleb.
They are indeed. Dylan on the outside. Paul Witt trying to make that inside line work in 1 and 2. You see everybody just kind of riding that high line, as we've been saying. Dylan's making it work, and Paul's trying to get up the inside. Dylan had a little bit of a wiggle going through turn number 4. We'll see if Paul Witt's able to get a fender on him. He is not. Dylan able to just carry all that momentum on the outside, though. And a little bit further back, Matt Sizzler now looks up the inside of John Houchins for that 7th place spot. Not able to quite clear him off the middle of the corner, but they're going to be side by side going down the front stretch.
They certainly are, almost 2 by 2. That is the lap machine of Sam Crow. Behind Sizzler and Houchins,
All right, man,
we've got
caution
yellow
is out. Caution is out.
on the speedway. It is Jeremy Dunwoody one more time, and well, he spun it a little bit earlier, but I'm guessing maybe the same sort of a situationship here, Caleb. He's against the pit wall in turn 4, and here we go. Here's Jeremy Dunwoody, the number 99 Chevrolet. Excuse me. Down into turn 3, and well, just come sideways with him, Caleb.
Yeah, instead of getting loose on exit like you did last time, it's loose on entry, and it's just one of those things. The tires are starting to wear. We're about halfway through the sim. We do have quite a number of drivers going through pit lane now, but other than that, Jeremy, the tires are getting worn. The truck's going to be more difficult to handle over the course of a run. You're going to have less ballast with the fuel, so the truck's going to be a little bit off balance of what you're used to. So as the run goes on, the truck's just going to be harder and harder to handle, and it's just a case scenario. It's going to be difficult to handle both entry and exit, and that's just a case scenario of what we saw there.
It is. Do want to thank Archway Industrial Coatings for their support of the AMA. Archway Industrial Coatings is a St. Louis-based flooring company that have been getting the job done for years in the St. Louis area. They do epoxy and urethane flooring solutions that withstand the test of time, all while meeting customers' installation schedules and budgets. They're committed to doing the highest quality work at the lowest possible cost every time, whether you're looking for industrial, commercial, restaurant flooring, floor on your retail establishment, or concrete repair at home. You found the perfect partner to get the job done now. Get ready to floor it with Archway. Greg Evans is getting ready to floor it. He is looking at the back of the pace truck. The lights are out. Ryan O'Donoghue will climb to his high side. They'll form up in rows of 2 behind him. The attrition is starting to mount now, Caleb. We've got essentially 17 cars on the speedway. Dunwoody, Gates, and Goodpaster are out of this one. Jason Phillips has been on the pit lane for 19 minutes. And that would indicate to me he's probably not going to make a return. So 17 trucks on the speedway, 13 of them on the lead lap. O'Donoghue and Evans, they'll do battle one more time for the lead. Barney's got the green flag up, and racing resumes at North Wilkesboro.
Greg Evans get it, and we got a spinner
All right, man,
on the
caution
front
is
straightaway.
out,
That is
caution is
Jeffrey.
out.
I believe that is Jeffrey. Not Jeffrey. Ted Craven's involved. Dylan Grutzbacher is the name I was looking for. He's spun around. Take a look what happened here, Murph. Yeah, it looks like he got contact on that right rear from Paul Witt. It looks like Paul Witt got a little bit of wheel spin coming across the start finish line, and well, around he goes.
I think it could have been Paul Witt lit the rear tires up, and I think there was a little bit of net code involved there too, Caleb. But no matter, Jeffrey Goodpaster goes around off of the nose of Paul Witt. You see the 54 of Michael Kirk making some contact with Matt Wagner on the inside, and then poor Ted Craven at the end slides through and he gets contact. Say Lewis Hayes may have gotten a piece of that as well. But caution back out. Grutzmacher will maintain his position on the lead lap. He did not go a lap down in that fracas. Craven and Hayes are both multiple laps down. And Paul Witt only lost track position. He did not actually lose any other time. But we're going to get the halfway. We're going to get the halfway break under the admin box caution flag, Caleb.
We will indeed. Well, it'll be pretty close. It might be when we go green. We are on. Oh no, it is halfway. Excuse me. Lap 123. So it'll probably be green once they get to lap 25. So Greg Evans currently leads him. Ryan O'Donoghue, Austin Hunn, Kendall Paul. That threw a bit of a joust, a bit of a shake-up in the running order because of that spin. Kendall Paul dropped a little bit further back. John Houchins is up into that fifth place spot. Paul Witt dropped a little bit further back. Matt Silver's up to seventh. And Matt Wagner, he started shotgunning this thing, currently in the eighth place spot. He's having a run here, Murph.
He is Matt Wagner in the number 17 Crown Royal Horizon Racing League Taupe Soaps machine. Yeah, I mean he's that's an IndyCar guy. We don't come to these places very often, and we certainly don't come here where it's a contact sport. Although we have raced here in the sim, Caleb. Green flag is back out, and Greg Evans will reach back out in the lead. The battle is for third between Austin Hund and Kendall Paul. Austin Hund on the bottom, Kendall Paul on the top.
Yeah, they're going to go side by side through turn number 3. A very, very close quarters action. Kendall tried to make that outside line work. You saw Austin spin up the rear tires just a little bit further back. Matt Sizzler and John Houchins are going to go side by side. John Houchins riding that high line. Looks like he's just able. Well, not quite. Matt Sizzler got a really good run down the back straightaway. He's got Paul Witt on his rear bumper, and Matt Sizzler's got a really good run on the inside. He might be able to get it done going into 1 and 2.
Matt Sizzler hanging tough on the bottom. John Houchins not willing to give up on the top. And Houchins, though, I think he charged the corner just a little bit too much there, Caleb. That's going to cost him not just a spot to Sizzler, but it may cost him a spot to Paul Witt, too.
Yeah, well, almost they fanned out 3 wide in the middle of the corner, and Paul Witt is around, and he's on the apron.
All right, man.
And Narcard's also around.
Caution back out on the speedway. It is Paul Witt looping his number 29 Ford F-150 to bring out the admin box caution. This time it's off of turn 2. It has been turn 4 for most of the evening. The exit of 4 is a little bit more treacherous than 2 just because that's where you start going down the hill. Going uphill, it tends to catch you a little bit. But right there, Paul Witt shows how treacherous it is to get off the corner at all here, and that's Michael Kirk going around in the background also of his own accord. Neither driver hits anything, but they do bring out the yellow light. 130 of 250 are complete here at North Wilkesboro. Do thank everybody for joining in, tuning in to the show. If you haven't already done it, make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to P1 so that you can get in on all of the iRacing fun. Big one tomorrow, Caleb. It's the iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 40 Racewear, 2 o'clock Eastern. Give us a preview of that one. You raced that today, didn't you?
I did, and I ended up getting second, finished right behind old Robert Malechka III. We got a 1-2 finish, and well, it was a bit of a chaotic race. I believe only 8 cars finished on the lead lap there, and I might have something to do with that, unfortunately. But sorry, Jesper, if you're listening. Yeah, that one was on me. But yeah, Nashville Super Speedway. It's a short track, or it should race like a short track, but it kind of races more like a mile and a half with the current configuration.
At least it is the correct aero configuration. For a long time in the sim, they didn't have the right aero.
That's right.
On the IndyCar when we went to Nashville. I do wish though that they would give us the option tires. I think that would really, spice that up, and they are doing that in life when they go to Nashville this weekend. They're gonna have the option tires on an oval. How about that?
I always thought, well, it's definitely an interesting choice, but I always was concerned about safety when you put different tire compounds on an oval. We saw that with Felix Rosenquist the first time they did that, but that's always been a concern with me, just having a softer tire compound that drivers try to push too hard. But anyways, enough of that. Green flag is back out here at North Wilkesboro. Greg Evans shoots out to the lead with just over 6 laps to go. Ryan O'Donoghue in second, and Kendall Paul and Austin Hunter are going to go side by side off the middle of the corner. O'Donoghue had a look on Greg Evans going into turn number 3, but backs off of it, and Kendall Paul trying to make that inside work. Unfortunately, he's gonna have to. He can't make it work on that bottom there. Austin Hunt just has too much momentum on the high side.
He just can't quite get it done. Austin Hunt will retain the 3rd spot. Kendall Paul falls back in line in 4th, and Matt Sisler has worked his way into the 5th spot, but Sisler under fire from John Houchins and a resurgent Paul Witt. So those 3 are going to do battle one more time, and into that picture comes Logan Edwards. The old narc brain has moved his way back up to 8. And Edwards trying to move forward here as we get ready to come to the close of the 2nd stage.
Yeah, Logan Edwards pitted underneath that caution, took 4 fresh Goodyear rubber there, and right now he is on a charge, looking on Matt Sisler just inside the top 5 here. Just goes to show what a good set of Goodyear, or a good fresh set of Goodyear rubber can do right now. Currently moves himself into the 5th place spot, and right now Ryan O'Donoghue is all over the back of his teammate Greg Evans for the lead of this stage here.
Ryan O'Donoghue moving right up on the back of Greg Evans. Moving right up on the back of Greg Evans. Paul Witt nearly spins his truck, but O'Donoghue looking to the inside, see if he can't win the stage. Caution is out. Paul Witt has brought his truck to a stop, and that might win the award for the longest crash ever at North Wilkesboro, because Paul Witt was loose in turn 2 here, Caleb. There he starts going around. He saves it, still saving it, still driving. Hold on, driver. And then contact with Justin Osterman, and he finally just he slid for so long, he finally had to bring it to a stop. There's damage to the left front of that admin box Ford F-150, and caution is back out on the speedway, and this will end the stage. Your Blackmagic Studios Stage 2 winner is going to be Greg Evans. Blackmagic Studios is a small operation dedicated to high-quality iRacing paints and wraps for any car. You can visit them on Discord or Facebook for your next high-quality iRacing paint. When you see me driving on P1, it is behind the wheel of a Blackmagic Studios designed machine. Caleb, I was about to give you a little history lesson. Different tire compounds used to be the rule in racing. it was not until the 2010s really that tire compounds were standardized. Did you know that?
I did know that for IndyCar they had. It was a fairly recent thing that they started doing.
Yeah, so if you go back and watch, especially Indianapolis, but they talk about it at almost every track, how Goodyear used to bring an option, right? Hard tire and a soft tire, and they would openly debate during the race which ones they were going to run. They also, one of the specialties back in the day before manufacturing processes were as good as they were now, is Greg Evans and crew pull onto pit lane, were mechanics and tire specialists and stuff that could read the codes on the tires. When you go watch Days of Thunder, Logan Edwards stays out, and he's got some lap trucks behind him, but Edwards had pitted under the previous yellow, so he's not going to pit now. Every team had a tire specialist, and part of his job was to read the codes on the tires, because those codes told you when the tire was manufactured, and you wanted a set that was essentially made at the same time in the same batch, right? So when you see Days of Thunder, and they talk about a really good set of matched tires, that's what he's talking about, right? Is they've matched the codes on the tires so that they're essentially perfect. You knew that, right?
I did not know that there, Murph. I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the keys. When you talk about Dale Earnhardt Sr. and his dominance in the 80s and 90s, was the Childress team was one of the first teams that figured out the coating on the tires, and they were able. Back then, you bought the tires. They were, however I can't remember what it was. It was like, I can't remember how much it was, like $3,500 a set maybe. But they would buy entire, semi-trailer loads full of tires, and they go through and they'd match them and just throw out the ones they didn't want or resell them. Can't do that now with tire contracts and leases and all that. Logan Edwards got a much better jump than David Dunwoody did when he stayed out. Of course, Edwards only had about 8 green flag laps on his tires. Dunwoody was working on 76 lap old rubber, but Logan Edwards hanging tough with Greg Evans. Evans on the top, Logan on the bottom. Well, Logan's really in the middle, and they've got Ryan O'Donoghue kind of bottled up on the bottom behind Logan Edwards. Austin Hunt, he's looking to pass O'Donoghue on the top side.
Yeah, it is. Logan on a slightly more worn set of rubber. It's a little bit loose off the middle of the corner.
I don't think that was... I'll tell you why that truck was loose. It was loose because the rear tires weren't on the ground. And now O'Donoghue gets loose. Edwards in the wall.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
I'd be willing to bet you that there's some red mist behind the wheel of that number 9 truck. Ryan O'Donoghue lit the rear tires up coming off Austin Hunt lit them up coming off the corner. O'Donoghue followed suit, and you see it. He's trying to save it and just turns it right down into Logan Edwards. It straightens up O'Donoghue. It doesn't do Edwards any good. Logan Edwards smacks the outside wall on the backstretch, and coming to get 100 laps to go, the Team I5G machine goes to the back of the line, Caleb.
Yeah, he had a good restarting position, took a bit of a gamble, hitting slightly early for a new set of Goodyear rubber. Well, it looks like it's going to be all for naught because, he's going to have to restart at the back of this thing with worse tires than everybody else. So, unfortunately, it looks like that plan didn't go the way it wanted it to. Just a small little mistake from both O'Donoghue and Hunt, and Edwards goes to the rear of the field here.
He does. Now, all is not lost for Logan. I mean, he's still got a fast truck, and we've seen him drive through the field on a couple of different occasions. So all is not gone pear-shaped for Logan Edwards. We haven't heard the last of him, and 100 laps at North Wilkesboro is a long time. Do want to thank Admin Box for sponsoring the caution flags in the AMA. Admin Box is race control at the touch of a button. If you are a race controller league owner, you do hosted sessions. It's Admin Box with 2x's.com. We're going to get 100 to go this time, Caleb. And then once we do that, the next time through, we got a couple more laps under caution, and then we're going to go green. Do you think that we've started to see enough attrition where this thing might get some green flag running into it?
We might. It really kind of depends on. Well, it kind of depends on like who all is going to be out there and who's able to keep the truck underneath him. It's still, we still got 100 laps, as you said. It's still a large portion of this race, but we've had some decent green flag runs of upwards of 40 laps here. So I think they can get it done here with a little bit more attrition here.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is back out at the speedway. Greg Evans gets it out to a big jump over Austin Hunt. Austin trying to make that wall side work, but he's got O'Donoghue to his inside. He looks up the inside of turn number 1. A little bit further back, Matt Scissor and Kendall Paul are going to go side by side. Chuck Sweetie and John Houchins as well. Austin Hunt able to clear O'Donoghue on the high side. Sizzler and Kendall Paul are going to go side by side still. Kendall has to run off the corner and he's able to clear Sizzler. Sizzler throws a massive block on John Houchins on the back straightaway, but is able to keep that position. And John Houchins is still going side by side with Chuck Sweeney. Chuck Sweeney on a little bit of a comeback.
3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide off the middle of the corner. Chuck Sweeney on the bottom. John Houchins in the middle. Matt Sizzler on the high side. Able to clear Chuck Sweetie there, but John Houchins able to get the edge over Matt Sizzler, but gets a little bit loose.
Yeah, that's never a call you want to hear on a short track. 3 wide, you're in the middle. They get away with it. Now to the high side of John Houchins comes Dylan Grutzmacher. He was involved in a dust up earlier, trying to work his way back to the front. Greg Evans and Ryan O'Donoghue have started to establish themselves in the front one more time. Evans just about a second ahead of O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue's now edging away from Hunt, Kendall Paul, and this battle for 5th, which is Matt Sizzler, Dylan Grutzmacher, John Houchins, Chuck Sweeting, and now Justin Osterman. Mr. Excitement has started to join the party.
He's joining the party, but Osterman is blinking a little bit just behind this group of trucks here. But it is fairly single file, but Dylan Grutzmacher looks like he is dropping into the hands of John Houchins right behind this initial. Well, he got a really good run through 3 and 4. Houchins goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Chuck Sweet. Well, Chuck Sweet gets a little bit loose off the middle of the corner, so he's going to have to drop back a little bit. But Dylan Grutzmacher running that high line, trying to get a really good run off the exit of the corner here. Caution is out on the speedway.
Michael Kirk has gone hard in the wall. They've taken Sam Crow he's taken Sam Crow with him. Jeremy Dunwoody may have also been involved, but Michael Kirk hard into the barriers, and here it is, the contact with Sam Crow. Kirk in the 54, Crow in the 8. Sam Crow already 10 laps down, not having the kind of night that he had hoped for. Michael Kirk loose off of turn number 4, down into Crow, and around they go. That is a hard lick, and I don't think we're going to see the 54 back in this one anytime soon. And then poor Jeremy Dunwoody just gets collected at the end. But that was a huge impact for Michael Kirk. Let's jump on board with Michael Kirk, and here's what this looks like. And as smooth as we saw Matt Sizzler being with his hands, this is what the opposite looks like, Caleb.
Yeah, you can see right there, he's starting to get loose, he's starting to get hooked, and hard into the inside wall there on the front straightaway. It does seem like it didn't blow the engine. A lot of times when you hit these trucks straight on, it'll just immediately blow the engine. But thankfully, it looks like he is still able to continue on from here. He is already 2 laps down, unfortunately. But if he's able to get that truck at least going in the forward direction, maybe he can salvage possibly a top 15 finish here.
There is a lot of there's smoke pouring from the back of that number 54. So he did get it going back at least he drove it to the pit lane. But there are going to be extended repairs if he hopes to get back out. Paul Witt should be your lucky dog. He is 1 lap down. See Jeremy Dunwoody peeling off of the pit lane. Greg Evans, your leader. Ryan O'Donoghue second. Austin Hunt, then Kendall Paul, Matt Sisler, and Dylan Gretzmacher. Those are going to be your first 3 rows. Houchin, Sweeting, Osterman, and Edwards, the remainder of your top 10. So
Green, green, green.
early green flag call there too, Caleb.
Yeah, very, very early green flag call. Happened almost in turn number 3 there. Don't know if that was iRacing mistake or a little bit of a glitch there. But Greg Evans shoots out to the lead. O'Donoghue follows suit, but Kendall Paul, Austin Hunt, just like on the last restart, going side by side. But this time Kendall Paul is on the outside. Matt Sisler is right behind them, as well as Dylan Grutzmacher. They're single file. A little bit further back, John Houchins and Chuck Sweetie are going to go side by side off the exit corner. They go single file though. And right now, Kendall Paul has gotten around Austin Hunt. He has moved himself up into that 3rd place position here.
He has. Greg Evans has not gotten away from Ryan O'Donoghue this time. O'Donoghue trying to keep the deuce firmly in his in the center of his windshield. Kendall Paul, Austin Hunt, they're still going after it for the 3rd spot. Hunt did get passed by Kendall, but Kendall Paul has not. Well, now he's starting to move out just a little bit. Those two have ever so slightly started to walk away from Matt Sisler and Dylan Grutzmacher. Grutzmacher drives it hard, and I mean he drove it hard into turn number 1 and nearly collected the back of the 3 Birdies machine in front of him. And you've got Chuck Sweeting looking to the inside of John Houchins as well.
Yeah, John Houchins trying to get on the back of Dylan Grutzmacher. He's trying to follow the same line as that 69 machine there, but he's got Chuck Sweeting on his inside. Sweeting currently trying to perform the comeback here. He started just inside the top 5, started in the 4th place spot, and ever since that incident earlier that he had, well, he's been trying to climb his way back up, but has kind of lingered just inside the top 10 here and has kind of just stayed there ever since.
You know he has, and look, you know there's still time to go, and to be fair, Caleb, with 82 laps yet to be completed, if we get a long green flag run, and that's something we've only really had one of, we saw comers and goers. The other thing is Greg Evans is not getting away from Ryan O'Donoghue as he did in the first 2 stages. O'Donoghue still within about 0.4 of a second. And he has been fractionally quicker than Greg Evans the last 2 times around. So keep an eye on Ryan O'Donoghue, Kendall Paul, and Austin Hunt. There they are, positions 3 and 4. Dylan Grutzmacher, Matt Sisler, 5th and 6th. And then you've got the battle between Houchins, Sweeting, Osterman. You got Logan Edwards and Paul Witt back there. Witt is a lap down. Matt Wagner is in 11th, and that's his truck at the top of the screen. Matt Wagner is the final truck on the lead lap at this point, Caleb, as we've got 79 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro.
Some quick math from Mark Murphy there. 79 laps to go here. Chuck Sweetie still looking on the back of John Houchins. Tries to get the low line to work. He's been trying to make that line work the entire day here, as well as Austin Hunt. John Houchins goes a little bit too deep into 3 and 4. Does the 75 have anything going on to the front straightaway? But he also gets a little bit loose coming off turn number 4. Just in front of them, Dylan Grutzmacher is all over the back end of Matt Sisler, battling for the top 5 position.
They are, and there you see Dylan Grusmacher, Matt Sizzler. Sizzler has started to lose the back of Austin Hunn just a little bit. Grusmacher now falling away from Sizzler. The top four have spread out, and Greg Evans is inching away now from Ryan O'Donoghue, hundredth by hundredth, but that gap has grown from 0.4 of a second to a half a second, and now 0.6. So Ryan O'Donoghue's starting to lose the back of Greg Evans.
Yeah, he is, but actually last time around, he actually gained about a 1/10 on Greg Evans. So it seems like it's just going to ebb and flow, at least early on in the stage. This time around, they actually equal lap times within 1/100th of each other. So it seems like it's just going to ebb and flow over the course of this stint here. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, it's Chuck Sweetie trying to still get around John Houchins for that 7th place spot. Dylan Grusmacher also still trying to get inside the top 5 as well. Logan Edwards trying to get around Justin Osterman, who is still currently blinking just a little bit. And as they go through turns 1 and 2, Sweetie has an inside fender on John Houchins. He's going to look up the inside, going into 3 and 4. Houchins runs the high line just in front of them. Dylan Grusmacher and Matt Sizzler are also going to go side by side down the front stretch. But Matt Sizzler able to use that high line momentum, able to defend that position. Chuck Sweetie also looking up the inside of John Houchins, going through 1 and 2. Still has a fender, but John Houchins able to keep that momentum and keep that position.
They are. Matt Sizzler with a big wiggle coming off of turn number 4. Dylan Grusmacher is right there, not able to do anything with it this time. John Houchins has now cleared Chuck Sweeting, and that's brought Justin Osterman into the discussion. There's that battle. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Logan Edwards is behind them in 10th. Paul Witt, you see racing, and Osterman, big slide into the wall. Turns 3 and 4, and that'll allow Logan Edwards to close back up on him. Action aplenty here at North Wilkesboro as Dylan Grusmacher starts looking on Matt Sizzler one more time.
Yeah, that 69 machine he's been alongside Matt Sizzler, even had a little bit of an edge in front of him, but he's just still not able to get the move done. Going through the middle of the corner, it's just Matt Sizzler's able to just keep the outside momentum going forward. It is able to defend that way. And you see Sizzler get a little bit wide there in 3 and 4. So does John Houchins. Houchins kind of running that middle lane, also getting a little bit loose. And Chuck Sweeting's hard into the outside wall.
Chuck Sweeting gathers it back up, but he hit that. He did hit the wall a ton. We'll go back and have a look at it for Chuck Sweeting. It's almost he did the thing where Caleb he went to arc the corner, turned it too much, and slammed the outside of the wall.
I don't think it was. I think he actually got wheel spin as well there. So when he tried to open it up there, so he hits the outside of the wall, and somehow going through 3 and 4, he's able to still get alongside John Houchins. So we know Chuck Sweetie has pace. It's just he's not able to get around that 72 machine. And it's kind of the same story with Dylan Grusmacher. We know he has pace as well, but he's just not able to get alongside Matt Sizzler enough to finally get that move done. And right now, they've actually lost time to both John Houchins and Chuck Sweetie going through 3 and 4. They were actually about 2/10 slower than the trucks right behind them, as well as Paul Witt. Paul Witt's actually faster. Mr. Excitement right behind him gets
Houchins!
Houchins on the outside, Chuck Sweeting on the inside.
John Houchins just about came to grief. I thought that truck was gone.
And Chuck Sweetie gets massive loose, and he spins in 1 and 2.
Yeah, right, Chuck Sweeting is around. Caution is on the speedway. And there are going to be some drivers now that are going to want their last set of tires, Caleb. Sam Crow has now retired. Michael Kirk has also ejected. So 15 cars on the speedway. We're going to have 12 on the lead lap. Paul Witt will get his lap back here. But we're gonna see some guys come and get some tires here, Caleb. I have a feeling.
We will, but then you also bring up the question, is it too soon to pit? Will we get another caution late in the running? You want that last set of tires to make a last lap sprint to the finish here. So I guarantee you we'll probably see a split strategy. It'll be either completely split or the entire field will come down. I think it's going to be one or the other.
You know, this is a hard call, right? Because this is a hard call. There's 62 laps left. You are not guaranteed to get another yellow. In comes Kendall Paul, so he's going to be a taker. John Houchins, looks like Matt Wagner, close to the back, is in for tires. Logan Edwards has already been on the pit lane. Chuck Sweeting is going to come down. So it's a split decision. You're going to see, by my count, Caleb, you're going to see 5 cars pit, 5 stay out. Dylan Grutzmacher stayed out. Paul Witt is going to line up 6th here. At least he's 6th on the road. So from Logan Edwards on back, they pitted. So half of them stayed out, half of them pitted. This is going to be interesting. I don't know that even new tires are enough to deal with O'Donoghue and Evans.
I think they will be. I mean, we saw the pace that Logan Edwards had at the end of stage number 2, how he is absolutely slicing through the end of the field with, only a handful of laps to go, and especially with there being less trucks out there. I think that also has a factor, and I do also want to point out, I was watching Logan Edwards. He did pit a lap before everybody else. He actually took left sides only this time. So that's also a different strategy, and he still has another set over the wall.
And that can be a strategy. Just changing lefts tends to tighten the car up. Just change rights, it tends to make it loose. And so maybe Logan Edwards is going for really one of the only adjustments that they have. Greg Evans gets out to the lead. Meanwhile, O'Donoghue, Hund, and Sizzler briefly 3 wide behind him, Caleb. Now O'Donoghue's going to get free, and Matt Sizzler is going to work on Austin Hund for 3rd.
Well, he's going to try to, but Austin Hund having that inside line on the exit corner, able to get that position. Logan Edwards looks up the inside very briefly there on Matt Sizzler. He's got a fender alongside, not able to quite get alongside going down the back straightaway, but he holds that inside line. Matt Sizzler gets a little bit loose through the middle of the corner. Logan Edwards has the inside line going down the front straightaway here, sends it in deep, but he's got Austin Hunt right in front of him. Unfortunately, he has to check up, but he's got the momentum going on the bottom side. He might be able to get the move done going down the backstretch, and now he looks up the inside of Austin Hunt. They're going 3 wide, going to 3 and 4.
They will. Logan Edwards on the bottom, and that's what fresh tires will do. Fresh tires will do for you, Caleb. He sliced straight to the bottom of Austin Hund on corner exit. Hund completely defenseless with that maneuver, and now Edwards, look at how he's able to just cut that truck to the bottom and drive off the corner. He will clear Austin Hund this time. We've got 56 laps to go this time through, and Logan Edwards is there on Ryan O'Donoghue for 2nd.
He looks up the inside. O'Donoghue on the high side, as we've seen him all the time. But Logan Edwards just able to get the speed on the bottom of the corner like we've never seen before. Able to clear O'Donoghue. Barely clear O'Donoghue through the middle of the corner, or on the entry of the corner. Gets a little bit loose on the exit. And right now he sets his sights on our leader, Greg Evans. Is he able to get that time back, though? Is he able to do it over the next 50 laps or so? Also want to point out, Kendall Paul has also gone around Ryan O'Donoghue, and now Austin Hunt is looking to get around that 14 machine as well.
Now Hund and O'Donoghue are on the same tires. There they are. O'Donoghue to the top side, Hund on the bottom. Logan Edwards is reeling in Greg Evans quickly.
All right, man, caution
We've got
is out.
caution
Caution is
on
out.
the speedway. It is Justin Osterman around off of turn 2. Osterman will bring out the yellow light, and here he is. He's racing with Say Hey Lewis Hayes. Hayes several laps down. Osterman, the final car on the lead lap. And truck loose, Caleb. Truck loose.
Yeah, we've already seen that same type of spin quite a few number of times, and it just caught out another victim here today, just getting loose in the middle of the corner of 1 and 2, and well, the thing loops on you there.
You know, it most certainly does. It most certainly does. And Justin Osterman will bring his truck back to the back of the field, and now you got to wonder. Well, now you got to wonder: is anybody going to make a pit stop? And the answer is Greg Evans has pulled his truck into the pit lane. He wants his new tires now. Ryan O'Donoghue stayed out in third. Hunt stayed out in fourth. And Grutzmacher stayed out in seventh. So those trucks still going to keep gambling, Caleb, that there may be another yellow. But Greg Evans came in this time. He got himself four new Mr. Feelgoods.
Yes, he did indeed, and he saw the pace that Kendall had. It isn't going to be that big of a difference, but it'll probably be the same as what we saw with Logan Edwards, him pitting early at the end towards the end of stage number 2, where he kind of was towards the back a little bit, falling back a little bit through the field. Probably be the same thing, but Greg Evans will get through the field. He's actually only going to restart in the fourth row in that 8th place position. So based on him having a fresh set of tires, it probably wouldn't take him very long to make his way up towards the front, but he's still got 50 laps to go, so he still has to manage those Goodyear rubber there.
Yeah, he does. I mean, and I have a feeling we're not done yet, Caleb. Logan Edwards, back to Logan Edwards has the point. Kendall Paul second, and Edwards gets a great jump on both Kendall Paul and Ryan O'Donoghue. Kendall will immediately dispose of Ryan O'Donoghue. Chuck Sweeting is going to look to the bottom side of the number 14, and Kendall Paul is going to look to the bottom of Logan Edwards.
Yeah, Kendall has the inside line, the fresher tires, inside momentum. A little bit further back, though, it's a bit of a chaos, but Kendall Paul all over the inside of Logan Edwards. And right now, well, still side-by-side with Logan going through the back straightaway, still side-by-side through 3 and 4, now able to finally get the move done, and right now he's just going to set his sights off in the distance and just pray a caution doesn't come out. Meanwhile, a little bit further back there, 3 wide in the middle of the corner, Austin Hunt, John Houchins, and Matt Sizzler on the inside there in the middle of 1 and 2. Now Matt Sizzler's on the inside of Ryan O'Donoghue, and they're still 3 wide again.
They are. Now O'Donoghue's getting beaten and banged around in front of Austin Hunt. Everybody backs out of it. The tires are coming. Greg Evans has made it to third, and he now sets his sights on on Logan Edwards. Kendall Paul has started to drive away from Edwards. He's got almost a full second now over Logan Edwards as the battle rages behind him. My goodness gracious. Matt Sizzler gets through Chuck Sweeting. Here comes Paul Witt. He's on fresh tires. Sweeting now dropping to the back like a rock. So too is Ryan O'Donoghue and Austin Hunt. Those guys are wanting a caution flag. Dylan Grutzmacher, Hunt, Grutzmacher, and O'Donoghue have not stopped in the stage. They really want a yellow light here so that they can come get their tires. But right now, Greg Evans looking to run down Kendall Paul as we run down these final 43 laps. Do want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining in the fun if you haven't already done it. Make sure you hit the like button on the video, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can enjoy all of the iRacing action on P1. Big time show tomorrow, Caleb. Nashville iRacing IndyCar Series presented by 4D Racewear, top split. I wonder what the strength of field on that guy is going to be. It might get north of 5,000 depending on how it splits up as Paul Witt goes to the inside of Logan Edwards.
Yeah, Logan Edwards currently just struggling with having a slightly older set. His right sides are really, really old. His left sides are a bit newer. So he's currently struggling with that, but he's also on the same page as the guys that have stayed out, just begging that caution comes out. But I do also want to point out Greg Evans is all over the back of Kendall Paul for the lead here. Goes through 1 and 2, goes to the apron.
Yeah, Greg
In 1
Evans.
and 2, got shoved down there.
You know, I think he's kind of using the apron to de-wedge the car a little bit and make it not so loose. Caleb, that's something that you see at Phoenix a lot, but you can kind of use the flat here at Wilkesboro as well for that same purpose. Evans now dives to the bottom of Kendall Paul. It is a 10-lap tire differential in Greg Evans' favor. We'll see if he can make that stick. Kendall Paul hanging tough on the outside. But Greg Evans leads it at the line by a nose. Kendall Paul, big send on the high side. Can he keep the momentum wound up? Yes, he can. They're door-to-door again down the back.
Kendall just able to use the outside momentum. Now it looks like, well, it looked like Kendall had a good run through 3 and 4 there. He's going to have to yield to Greg Evans just based on having him having a fresher set of tires. And right now, you just got to hang on to second. Matt Sizzler and Paul Witt also very quick behind them. They're saying about the slightly quicker lap times than Kendall Paul last time through, as well as Justin Osterman. Logan Edwards in that 6th place position, still on the old set, same as John Houchins. But right now, Kendall, he is on an older set, and you just got to hope that Greg Evans either makes a mistake, possibly burns up his tires, which he's not really known to do. So it's probably just going to be the prior of the two options there. Just hope that Greg makes a mistake here in the closing laps here with just over 35 laps to go.
Absolutely so. Paul Witt all over the back of Matt Sizzler. These are two new tire trucks, and they're running down Kendall. Well, not really running down Kendall Paul. They are a little bit quicker. Witt quicker than Sizzler. Sizzler quicker than Paul. And they're going to go side by side into turn number 1. It's Paul Witt on the bottom, Matt Sizzler on the top, Justin Osterman behind them in 5th. And Osterman has been blinking something fierce the whole race, Caleb, but he hasn't quite run afoul of the connection of the connectivity black flag. But he's got to be flirting with it.
Well, he hasn't blinked in a while. It's been just on and off. It's not like it's been consistent. It's probably once every maybe 20 laps he'll blink. But right now, he is actually faster than both Matt Sizzler and Paul Witt. Actually, he is faster than even Greg Evans at the moment. So Justin Osterman is the fastest truck on the field, in the field at the moment, at least of the top 5. And right now, he's hunting both Matt Sizzler, Paul Witt, the 93 to the 29. We'll see if he's able to get anything done to make this a 3-car battle for a final step on the podium.
Nice 3-way scrap for the 3rd spot. Paul Witt dirt tracks it through turn number 4, and that's going to open the door for Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. This is the best battle on the speedway. Logan Edwards is looking on John Houchins, but that is a lot further back from here. Houchins 6th, Edwards 7th, and Edwards really feeling the effects of those older tires. He had a hot rod when they were new. They're not new anymore, and he has started to fall back to the field. So too Austin Hunt, Dylan Gruesmacher, and Ryan O'Donohue. Those three, that trio is just about nearly half a lap down, and they want a caution in the worst way as we're under 30 laps to go now, Caleb. Osterman gets around Witt, set sail after Sizzler.
Yeah, Witt went really deep into turn 1 and 2 and had to give the position up to Mr. Excitement in that 53 machine. And right now, they've actually dropped, both drivers have dropped a little bit of time to Matt Sizzler, and they've actually gained a couple tenths over the course of the last couple of laps over Kendall Paul. Kendall Paul last time through, or this time through, as a matter of fact, a 21.2. Matt Sizzler a 21.1, as well as Osterman also doing a 21.1. Paul Witt with a 21.2. So right now they are actually faster than the 2nd place position, and this could be a 3-way battle for this for the 2nd step of the podium.
Yeah, we're riding on the back of Kendall Paul. Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear, and Matt Sisler is getting closer lap over lap. 2/10 he pulled out that last time on Kendall Paul, and it's just a matter of time now, I think, before Matt Sisler gets to Kendall Paul, and when he does, we're gonna see a fight for second, and Justin Osterman is coming as well. Osterman on that same tire schedule as Matt Sisler. He's taking care of his stuff, and he's going to join that fray at any moment. With Kendall Paul. Meanwhile, Greg Evans at the front has just put Matt Wagner a lap down, and they're closing in on the Hund, Grutzmacher, and O'Donoghue trio that has not yet stopped in the stage. And so those guys, they're looking for a yellow in the worst way, Caleb.
They are indeed, and even Matt Wagner is in the lucky dog position, being one lap down, but they're looking for a caution just any way possible. That way they can take their final set of Goodyear rubber. You're watching with this incredible three truck battle for the second place position, but they got a lap truck of Matt Wagner in the mix in that number 17 machine. Kendall Paul goes really, really deep through 1 and 2. Matt Sisler on the rear bumper of that 78 machine, and Mr. Excitement got a little bit held up from the lap truck of Matt Wagner, and so does a little bit further back Paul Witt. He still has to navigate that lap truck. But Matt Sisler looking up the inside of Kendall Paul, going through 1 and 2. They're side by side coming off the middle of the corner.
They are. Matt Sisler will dive to the bottom of Kendall Paul. Kendall will pinch him down there. They're going to race side by side off of turn number 4, but look at the hands inside those trucks. These things are not handling any longer, Caleb. They are 31 laps in for Sisler, 41 for Kendall Paul. It's not handling like it did at the beginning of this run. Those drivers have their hands full, and Justin Osterman's now closed in. He's going to make it a three-way battle.
Yeah, it is a little bit of side-by-side contact as they go through the exit corner. Kendall Paul holding the high line. Matt Sisler trying to get to the middle. Still not able to get the move done. And Kendall's just able to clear him every single time. But Matt Sisler deep into the corner. Makes side-by-side contact. That's going to allow Justin Osterman to make a move on Kendall Paul. They're going to go side-by-side through turn 1 and 2.
They are. Now Justin Osterman will draw a beat on Kendall Paul. Paul and Sisler go up the hill. Osterman to the bottom, and he draws even with Kendall Paul off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch they come. Osterman to the bottom of Paul now. Kendall hanging tough on the outside, but he gets the truck way loose, and Osterman nearly breaks it loose. They're still side by side for third. Osterman with the slight advantage. He blinks out, comes back, still even Steven with Kendall Paul down the back. This is the battle for the third spot. Osterman with the edge on the bottom and with the newer tires. But Kendall Paul putting up a fight, and now Paul Witt looks like he may join the action. Now Kendall Paul's going to get in on the bottom, but that 78 truck is spent, Caleb. Look at how he's having to drive that thing crossways into every corner almost.
Yeah, and you can tell that, his rear tires are absolutely just gone. You can see how he's tapping the wall nearly every single straightaway, and now he's in the clutches of Paul Witt, as you said, in that 29 machine. He's fully sideways off the exit corners. His rear tires are nearly gone, Murph, and he certainly got a lot of brown spots. Not only for him, he is drifting that truck. Look at the counter steer he's putting in on the exit of these corners. His tires are gone.
Yeah, it's Caleb. He's given up a second and a half a lap. Speaking of tires, Hunt, Grutzmacher, and O'Donoghue are all now a lap down. Matt Sisler has spotted 5 seconds to Greg Evans, who is long gone, but Justin Osterman is not. Justin Osterman will pull up on the back of Matt Sisler as they approach Ryan O'Donoghue to put a lap on that number 14 truck. The yellow never came for the guys that stayed long, and they're paying the price now. Nearly 100 laps on the tires for Grutzmacher, O'Donoghue, and Huns. Those trucks are hurting. We've got 12 laps to go. Even if they got tires now, it's going to be too little too late.
Yeah, well, indeed. The last truck on the lead lap is Chuck Sweeting at 8th place. Right in front of him is Logan Edwards. Put in reference, Greg Evans crosses the start-finish line now. Chuck Sweeting's going in the middle of 1 and 2 right now. Logan on the back straightaway. So right now, as Osterman and Matt Sizzler go through 1 and 2, navigating the lap truck of Ryan O'Donoghue, basically Greg Evans, the more laps go, the less time everybody else has, and the more trucks that lap down, and less opportunity for those guys, because they can't take their final set of tires. They have to take the wave around if they want to, have a decent finishing result.
You're 100% right.
If a caution comes out. You're
100% right there. Matt Sizzler is not done with Justin Osterman. He's almost, though, using these lap trucks as a pick. I think Osterman might be a little bit faster, Caleb, but there's just no racing room as they navigate through Dylan Grutzmacher. 10 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. I don't think the win is in doubt. Greg Evans with nearly a 6-second advantage, but the battle for second is getting fierce between Osterman and Sizzler. Again, I think Osterman's a little bit quicker, but every time he gets to him, there's another lap truck. Now, when they get through Austin Hund, there's going to be some clear racetrack, but Osterman may only have 4 or 5 laps to go when that happens.
Yeah, it is, and Sizzler on the inside of Austin Hunt. Justin Osterman trying to make the outside work, cuts it down hard on the exit corner, able to get past.
Here comes
Osterman,
Osterman.
and he sent Matt Sizzler.
Contact to the rear of Matt Sizzler from Justin Osterman. Osterman wiggles a little bit on the bottom. They door slam coming across the line. Sizzler with the advantage going into 1. He's got the high side, and now Osterman blinks out into the side of Sizzler. They continue to fight. 7 laps to go. Paul Witt's thinking, boys, go ahead, run each other over. I'll finish second.
Yeah, this is again a very, very dicey between the two. Osterman had a look on the inside, sends it in there again, trying to make that middle line work. Matt Sizzler's got the momentum on the high side, though. Osterman get a little bit squirrely on the exit corner. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. But Matt Sizzler runs a little bit deep going through 3 and 4. Justin Osterman still having that bottom line, gets squirrely again going to the front straightaway. A little bit of contact as they go into the entry of turn number 1. Osterman trying to make the inside work, but he keeps getting a little bit squirrely, and that's costing him just a little bit of time every single straightaway.
Yeah, every time he goes for that extra 1 or 2% to try to make the move stick, the back end of that 53 snaps around on him, and Matt Sizzler is able to hold the position on the high side. Osterman's probably going to get 1, maybe 2 more cracks at it. The question isn't whether he uses the bumpers, it's when and how severe. Sizzler leaves the bottom open. Osterman's going to take it down there as they cross the line. They've got 3 laps to go, Caleb. How much longer do you think Justin Osterman's going to wait?
It's probably going to be a last lap thing, because if he does it too soon, he risks bringing out a caution and then ruining everybody's strategy there and allowing some of the other drivers that still have tire sets to take a set of tires. Right now it's 2 to go. He's still all over the back of that number 93 machine. He's very, very close. This is one of the best runs he's got recently, but he gets loose off the exit corner.
See what I mean about every time he goes to get that last 1%? The back end snaps around. He dives to the bottom one more time to Justin Osterman. But again, he can't get back in the gas soon enough to make it work. Osterman now all the way up against the wall. He's not going to be close enough. He's going to have one more chance. Greg Evans will come through and win the race. He's going to have one more chance as we monitor the battle for second. Osterman not close enough. Matt Sizzler, if he can get off this corner, he's going to bring it home second. To the flag stand we go. Matt Sizzler brings it home second. Osterman third. Paul Whitten fourth. John Houchins, Logan Edwards, and Kendall Paul are going to come through. Everybody, those are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Everybody else a lap down, and well, Greg Evans one more time does it to him in the deuce. He's going to bring it home a winner, and here is your Rogue Energy winning moment. It's Greg Evans. Go to rogueenergy.com, use promo code AMA24, get 10% off your order. That's rogueenergy.com, AMA24, you get you 10% off of your order. And there's Greg Evans. He goes around, start finish line out. Now see, this is Caleb Brashear approved. See, he's got the brake bias all the way forward, nice 3/4 donut, burns it down, going the other way on the front straightaway. For your results, Greg Evans, Matt Sisler, Justin Osterman, your podium, Paul Witt, John Houchins. Fine top 5 runs, both. Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul were the only other 2 cars, Caleb, on the lead lap. Chuck Sweeting, Austin Hund, and Dylan Grusmacher round out your top 10. They, along with Ryan O'Donohue, in 11th. Well, they gambled on a yellow. The yellow never came. Matt Wagner will be credited with 12th. Sahe Lewis Hayes, 13th. He came back to 2 laps down. At one point, he was 4 or 5 down. So perseverance pays off for Sahe Lewis Hayes. Ted Craven is 14th. Out of the race, Jeremy Dunwoody in 15th. Sam Crow, Michael Kirk, David Dunwoody, Jason Phillips, Andrew Gates, and last but not least, Jeffrey Goodpaster. And you see Greg Evans on the screen. He's pulled the truck, Caleb, under victory lane. You can't get to it. There's a lift over there. They lift you up, and so Greg Evans has pulled it in front of the building where victory lane is. I like that, Caleb. I'm an old school guy. I think you need to go to victory lane. What do you think?
I think it's always tradition. You got to go to victory lane if iRacing allows you to access it, of course. But yeah, I feel like it's just tradition. Do a burnout in victory lane. It's virtual. You're allowed to do it.
Open victory lane, indeed. We're going to bring in Justin Osterman. He finishes 3rd after a whale of a battle with Matt Sisler. Were the tires just giving up too much at the end to do anything with Sisler there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I saw Kendall and Sisler going at it, and I was like, it'll open up eventually. So I was kind of paced behind them, trying to save those rears, because, dude, those rears tonight was probably the touchiest thing I have met in my life. It was, I don't like short tracks. I'm not good at short tracks. I don't care for them a whole lot, but we take the podium tonight. I mean, 3rd place just on a lucky pick. Just, I don't even know. It was a wild night tonight. That was eventful.
For the serious part of the interview, we'll turn you over to my able assistant, Caleb Brashear. Caleb, what do you have for Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman, this evening?
Maybe.
I think
maybe.
There it is.
Well, there is. So obviously you had that incredible battle for Sisler with Sisler at the end there. You obviously got a really good green flag at the run there, taking the set of tires right at the right time. Did you think, with how the rest of the field was going, did you at the time think it was the right decision, or did you possibly think it was going to be a late caution, or do you think it was going to go green to the end from at the point you took tires?
I got a little worried it was going to go green right before I looped it and got the tire warning, because I was just struggling. I was like, well, we don't have a shot in this one. I knew I saved that tire set because I was really hoping for a late caution. I just wasn't trying to be the late caution. So, I mean, I knew it was either going to get crazy in the last 20 or 30. And I was like, me and Dunwoody were already talking about it. miss him running tonight. He such a good truck, but things would happen to him. But yeah, we were talking. We were like, just no matter what, just save a set because there's gonna be one. And I ended up being that one, and it kind of lucked out, I guess. But I mean, that battle with Sizzler right there was. I didn't think I drove that hard all night. I thought about booping him, just giving him a little bump, getting him loose. I did one time. He came down on me. I couldn't get to it. Kind of felt bad. That's why I didn't run him, but so hard, just trying to keep it clean. But it was a fun little run, and it was a wild night. That was an eventful night. I did not expect to be up on the podium. Don't ever expect to be up here. I am just luck out when I get to it. So we'll take it. Third place. It's not too bad for a little short course.
No, not too bad at all. You're getting to be a regular up here, and so with the podium come the spoils, friends, family, sponsor, shout outs. You've got the mic. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Carry All RC, staying on the hood with me. This #1 RC sponsor, everything they do for me. Thank Outland Custom Arms for riding on the back of this thing. Everything they do for me too. I appreciate it so much, Randy. Miss you, brother. Hopefully you'll be out here soon. Let's see, Black Magic Studios, Storm Tracker, everybody with them, Kendall, James on that side, John, all of them. I want to thank Dunwoody with me, everything he does with me every week, and Jeremy for coming out here riding with us. Fun having him every night. And that'll do it for me. Thank y'all in the booth, and P1 for broadcasting, and Archway for the series. You got to squeak that in there. So that'll do it for me tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you, boys.
Absolutely, Justin. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Yes, sir.
That is Mr. Excitement, Justin Osterman. He finishes in the third spot. We will let him go back to the waiting room, and in will bring Matt Sizzler. Matt, you've got Murph, you've got Caleb Brashear in the P1 broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
How nerve-wracking was that battle with Justin there at the end? It looked like you guys were both out of grip.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I probably pushed the brake bias as far forward as I could get on our Three Birdies Ram right at the end. Never had to go all the way up to +3 on it, but I definitely, at the end there, I was +3, and I knew I kind of had one coming when I kind of chopped Justin into 3 late. I knew he drove it. I knew he was very good at driving into the corner, and I kind of tried to just get in front of him, and should have just stayed high. And then, not sure what happened in 1 and 2, because on my screen, there was kind of a glitch, and he kind of glitched partway through my truck. But I had wheel damage for the final few laps. That made it really interesting. But it was a good fight. It was, what you'd call short track clean. Like, neither of us wrecked each other. We got in the wall, kept it straight, and that ended up being a pretty good finish for you guys. He's on the broadcast, I hope.
Yeah, we showed a lot of it. I will for the serious part of the interview, we'll hand you over to Caleb. Caleb, what do you have for Mr. Sizzler this evening?
So it's actually a very good points haul for you. Even though you didn't get the win, you effectively got P1 out of all the full-time entries and got significant points over the 2 people that were ahead of you in the championship of Logan Edwards and Kendall Paul, finishing multiple positions that have them looking forward to the next race on the schedule, which is IRP, which is kind of like a very similar track to this. You had a good result here. You've had good results on short tracks so far. How are you going to keep this momentum forward with the championship?
Just hopefully keep the truck out of chaos tonight. Just keep the truck out of chaos most races. We were lucky that we were kind of able to either be ahead or behind the wrecks that happened on track tonight, and short tracks really come down to consistency, and North Wilkesboro is probably the most difficult one, and I only say that because you race down into 1 and 2 and then up into 3 and 4, so you can never. It's almost like Darlington. If you have a better truck into one set of corners, you're compromised on the other ones, and I felt like that tonight. But IRP should be interesting. Like you said, similar track to this. You just have to keep all 4 corners on it as best we can, and make sure we're there at the end. And play the right pit strategy. Like tonight, we just got really lucky with pit strategy, and it's an underrated part of the game. But here at Wilkesboro, it's definitely definitely very important, and we'll see next week. We just got to hit our marks, do everything right, and keep ourselves right with them until we get to the chase, and then see how that plays out.
Well, I'll tell you what, you played it pretty good tonight. You run second, and as Caleb said, effectively the winner amongst the full-time entries. You had a great points night, Matt. With the podium come the spoils. Friends, family, sponsors. Shout them out.
All right. I want to thank my painter, Alan Steigerwald, Lil Hooper Designs, for this awesome-looking Three Birdies Ram. He's done my paints for longer than I've had Three Birdies as a sponsor. So he always does an awesome job with them. So just huge shout out to him for this. Three Birdies Golf Company, my sponsor for like about 2 years now. Love those guys. They're so supportive. They love racing. And so blessed to have them on board as my full-time sponsor. Go check them out at threebirdiesgolf.com. Allen Sealing Services, White Claw, Peace, Love, and Paws Rescue, Jimmy John's, Ram for coming back, because honestly, my dad was a longtime Chrysler Corp employee, so to see a Chrysler product back on NASCAR racetracks is awesome, and to be able to drive one's really kind of special. Archway Industrial Coatings, who sponsor the series, Kendall, everybody over at AMA who put this league on, and last but not least, Murph, you and Caleb, and everybody up at P1 who do these broadcasts. You guys do an awesome job week in and week out. Thank you guys so much for everything you do.
You're more than welcome, my man. Thank you so much for stopping by. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
We'll do it. That is Matt Sizzler. He runs second, and for the man of the hour, it is Greg Evans. It wasn't quite Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine, and it really wasn't Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt Sr. out there for you tonight. Commanding 9.479 second win for you, Greg. Talk to us about it, especially the call coming to get tires when you did. Was it a consideration staying out, or did you think that was probably going to be your last chance?
I don't know. The way the race was playing out, I felt like we were getting longer and longer green flag runs. And I felt like I really wanted to stay out just a little bit longer. But I think Ryan decided to stay out, and I was like, well, I'm going to just gamble here and take a chance. And I figured, if I could get past Kendall and Logan quick enough, then I could kind of just set the pace and save my tires. And in that case, in that case, if we got a late caution, I could still have a little bit left. But yeah, as soon as I think it was like 25, 30 laps into it, I started seeing Ryan and the other guys who stayed out on fuel or on tires there. And I thought, man, if I can just get by those guys and put them a lap down, then we pretty much got it in the bag. So yeah, it was just a gamble. I mean, if we'd have got a caution before that, those guys would have probably came flying back by me. So just a good call tonight. Good luck. Played out in our favor tonight, and able to get a win.
For the serious questions of the evening, we'll turn to Ryan O'Donohue, or not Ryan O'Donohue, Caleb Brashear. Caleb,
Wow, he already forgot my name.
I'm lucky I remember my own name sometimes, my man. Go ahead, Caleb.
So, for the serious question, not food related, I got an interesting one. So, obviously, this is one of the tracks that came back, basically from the dead. It was rebuilt from the ground up. If there was any track that's was in the state of North Wilkesboro, kind of abandoned, that you could bring back, which track would it be?
Ooh, for the truck series, I would have to say Mansfield. There used to be a lot of good races up there with the progressive banking. I went there one time with the Hooters Pro Cup and stuff like that. So that was, and I used to love watching the truck races there. Those were always good races. Either Mansfield, Ohio, or probably Nazareth.
It's funny you say Mansfield, because Mansfield is actually back under operations this year.
Yeah, it's dirt now, I think.
Oh yeah, it's dirt, and it's amazing. It's one of the best dirt tracks. I'd say it's up there with Eldora now in terms of how good it is.
Yeah, I love that place. I used to race it on NR 2003 for a long time, and that's if I didn't have like a league to run it, I would race the AI there just to have fun, because it was just, you could go high, you could go low, you could go down the bottom. And there was just all kinds of places to go. So
I agree. I would love to see. I would love to see some of those shorter tracks come back. As Caleb knows, and as you know, Greg, the trucks were originally the original truck series was more or less places like this. Mansfield, Memphis would be another one that comes to mind. Nazareth. There weren't any tracks on the original truck schedule. I don't think over a mile, and so I wish they would kind of go back to that. That was fun. But with
Yeah.
that said. With that said, you know what happens next. You win the race, you get the mic. Go ahead, my man.
yeah, definitely got to thank my guys from DVD Motorsports. I know most of the guys, or all of them, kind of had a tough evening tonight, and felt bad for Ryan. You know, I really thought he made the right decision there, staying out, and I told him just to do what he thought was right, and I really thought we'd have got a caution within that 50-lap run, but yeah, it's just unfortunate. But I got to thank Sim Magic, Sim Labs, Sim Shop, Freightliner. You know, got to give a shout out to John Van Verellis. I think Charles was probably watching again tonight, and just glad to get another win and thinking of him, and you know, still wishing that we could all do one more race with John. It would be just missing him. We was I went and ran a race last night with Sam at another league, and they use TeamSpeak for communications. And I hadn't raced there all year, and it was actually North Wilkesboro, and I figured I'd use it for a test session, and that's kind of where I found the bottom last night. But I went in there to set my whisper keys up because I hadn't been in there so long, and lo and behold, man, got in there and went to set it up, and I still had JV78 as one of my whisper friends. And I told Sam, I'm like, man, I really haven't got real emotional in a while about him, but dang, man, last night was so tough. Just seeing his name in there, and just another reminder that he was gone. So just a big shout out for him, man. Like I said, we're doing this whole season for him and keeping the DVD Motorsports name going in his honor, and just glad we could get another win.
We're glad to see you win. We're glad to have you in the booth, Greg. Thank you so much for stopping by. Keep going fast, having fun, buddy. We'll see you at the next one.
All right, see you guys. Thank you guys for broadcasting and doing all this for us. It's all, like I said, it's always fun to be able to go back and watch these races and hear you guys broadcast it. You guys do a great job. We appreciate y'all as well. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, and the best part about that is you don't have to look at us, right? You just hear the voice, so that's even better, right?
You got a face for radio, from what I hear.
That's very true. Well, thank you so much, Greg. We'll see you at the next one, buddy.
All right, guys. Y'all appreciate you guys. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. That is Greg Evans. He's tonight's winner, and well, Caleb. So ends another AMA race with a familiar face in victory lane.
Yeah, a familiar face. You know, he's already got 8 wins in the Grand National Series. He's actually already won once already earlier in the season, as we said, at Charlotte. And you know, Greg Evans, obviously one of the best to do it here in the AMA. Getting another win here tonight. But another big point is that this really kind of how the recent races here in the Truck Series with Logan Edwards getting back-to-back with the road courses, he shot up in the championship standings. Well, now with Matt Sizzler basically getting the best points of everybody else, and Kendall Paul and Logan Edwards having decent nights, this has really turned the championship into an absolute dogfight between the top 3 here. So the championship battle is really, really closed up between the top 3 now. And not only that, is speaking for the race itself, you know, we got some really good battles there all up and down the field. We got, you know, some cautions there. We got some spins, and, you know, that's just how North Wilkesboro is run most of the time, and short tracks just in general. In the NASCAR side of things, you're always going to get those cautions. But we did get some good green flag runs. We got some good battles all up and down the field. So it was good to see that here at North Wilkesboro, and it's good to see this track back from come back onto the NASCAR schedule full time this season for in the Cup Series.
You know, it most certainly is. And I'll tell you what, we've got is a lot more action right here on P1 coming up for you. Tomorrow, it is the 2026 IndyCar iRacing Series presented by 40 Racewear at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon from Nashville Super Speedway. Sunday nights at 8, the season opener of the longest running DW12 series in the sim. It's the Dark Horse DW12 series presented by 40 Racewear, 8 o'clock. Season opener at Auto Club, California. Monday night, the IndyCar Open Series Top Split heads to VIR. That's at 8 o'clock. And the nightcap will be the Indy Next Road Series Monday night Top Split at 10. Tuesday, it's a triple header. The IndyCar Oval Series Tuesday night Top Split goes off at 8:15. The Indy Next Oval Series Top Split at 9:30. And then it's Area 51 after dark. The Area 51 IndyCar Series. Join Andrew Wood and me, 9:30 for round 2. On Wednesday, the Formula Indy Series travels to Imola. That'll be at 8:20. Next Thursday, we'll kick it off with a doubleheader. The Elite Racing League P1 IndyCar Championship, round number 1, Pocono Raceway, 7:45. And then the AMA Outland Custom Arms Grand National Series, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start from Indianapolis. It's the Brickyard 250, and that'll bring us to next Friday night. It's the AMA Archway Industrial Coatings Truck Series. 8 o'clock, 8:20 pre-race, 8:35 start from Indianapolis Raceway Park. We do want to thank all of the drivers on the track for putting on a fabulous show. The fans in the stands, you guys were awesome. But we also want to thank the people that really make it possible. The military, the police, the firemen, the EMTs, driving the ambulance, and Caleb, the nurse that unloads you when you get there. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all. We will see you tomorrow afternoon for Nashville. Have a good one, everybody.